fights in the world, and boxing fights directly influence crime rates. Sounds unbelievable, but it's all true in the Philippines. 20. The entire landmass of the Philippines is made up islands. It is the second largest archipelago in the world. In fact, the Philippines has approximately 7,500 islands, with only 2,000 of them inhabited and nearly 5,000 still unnamed on global maps. 19. There are about 175 languages spoken in the Philippines, with 171 of them considered living, while 4 tribal dialects have no known living speakers. The country's official languages are Filipino, based on Tagalog, and English, with Cebuano and Ilocano also popular in some regions. But when Filipinos interact with tourists and foreigners, it's easy for them to speak English, since it's the 5th largest English-speaking nation behind the US, India, Pakistan, and the UK. 18. About 11% of the population of the Philippines. More than 11 million people work overseas. In fact, the Philippines is the top supplier of nurses in the world, with about 25% of all overseas nurses coming from the country. In the United States, Filipinos are the second largest Asian American group behind only Chinese. 17. Filipinos are crazy about basketball. You'll see makeshift hoops erected on every street corner, young men commonly wearing NBA jerseys, and local teams playing in every community hall. Their professional league, the Philippines Basketball Association (PBS), is the second oldest in the world after only the NBA. In fact, a good number of players with US college and NBA experience come to play in the PBA. 16. Filipinos also love boxing with a passion. When their most famous native son, Manny Pacquiao, fights, it's like a national holiday. In fact, Filipinos are so supportive of Pacman that every time he has a boxing match, the Philippine National Police report that street crime drops to 0 in Metro Manila, and the same is true in most of the country. 15. The Philippines produces and exports more coconuts than any country in the world, shipping off about 19.5 million tons of the fruit called buko every year. 14. The Philippines is the only Asian nation that's predominantly Christian. Most of the Southeast Asian neighbors practice Buddhism, and about 80% of its population, Roman Catholic because of its Spanish colonial influence. 13. Filipinos are very social, spending as much time as possible with family and friends. But they also stay in touch these days by exchanging a whole lot of text messages. In fact, it's estimated that Filipinos send about 400 million text messages every day, adding up to about 142 billion texts per year, earning them the designation, the texting capital of the world. That's more than the total number of daily text messages sent in the US and Europe combined. 12. Philippines is one of the most remarkable geological formations in the world. The Taal volcano consists of an island, Luzon, that contains a lake, Taal Lake, with a smaller island in the lake, Volcano Island, with a lake on that island, main crater of Taal volcano, with another tiny islet, Volcano Island, inside. 11. The Philippines population crossed the 100 million threshold in 2014, ranking as the 12th most populous country in the world. With an annual growth rate of about 2%, it's also one of the fastest growing countries in the world. 10. Manila, the capital of the Philippines, ranks as the city with the highest population density in the world, and some of the worst traffic congestion. In fact, Manila spans only 24 square miles but has 1,660,714 residents, giving it a population density of 55,446 people per square mile. Metro Manila, comprising several other conjoined cities, stands at more than 12,877,000 people, making it one of the most populated metropolitan areas in the world. 9. The Philippines island of Palawan has been named one of the best island in the world, thanks to its jaw-dropping natural beauty. Visitors can explore white sand beaches, swim in lagoons, enjoy island hopping in Coron and El Nido, find some of the best scuba diving in the world, and even traverse the underground river in the capital, Puerto Princesa, a UNESCO World Heritage Site and the second longest underground river in the world. 8. The country suffered one of the largest volcanic eruptions in history. On June 15, 1991, when Mount Pinatubo erupted only a couple hours from Manila. The blast was so powerful that it shot 10 billion metric tons of magma and 20 million tons of toxic sulfur dioxide into the stratosphere, 25 miles high. Mount Pinatubo sent such a big mushroom cloud of ash into the atmosphere that it created a haze of sulfuric acid all around the world for 2 years.